Hi, deal update. Someone call BM Sabia too far the nature more parliament BM na sema koso ne sema kesi pa because for na afre parliamentarians for say e be ya ombra me de embetena se na chese loans bi on person me de omo grant man na se omo approve man not me de Ghana din ekwaji loan BM aba be bo Ghana ho bra no nti omo satena se we emergency settings such as enya seketo na ho videos na ba ye de Abraham na sabredi a year out of Forson sorry akasa ye pa no catch na kofado to say a deben pan a emergency a chain and as urgent change the state of air the country right now because the state of the air this country no that emergency crossing will now person kwakwaje a diane boarding school nye hospital nye dollar to CD rate and yet like a day na more urgent since the state of air this country. Into out of Forson address this government panel no day on person air loan number approve in any day. And which you know a year for Markins was sorry out just on special chest or say government and also person parliament for a day approve this government. No to me then kwajiska edibabo a Ghana hombra. Omukwaji na se na be government business bet my then akosu and Kesi and as Zanetor so sorry with me shutting it down with that waste my time now. Approval
of the presidential nominees is another item on the other paper today for us to consider. And Mr. Speaker, again, we have also seen on the other paper the approval of the second tranche of the 150 million Garrett Ida loan facility. But may I ask, Mr. Speaker, how is the approval of the minister nominees for positions of ministers and deputy ministers become an urgent matter for a government that has already been seen as the largest government in the Fourth Republic? Mr. Speaker, how is the approval of 150 million loan an urgent issue when the 200 million for phase 1 approved by this same House has been misapplied and not been accounted for? Mr. Speaker, let me also ask, how is it an urgent matter for this House to approve a 150 million loan when this same House has been called upon to approve tax exemptions worth $450 million at the same sitting? Therefore, Mr. Speaker, we want to make the point clear that there is nothing urgent before this House to warrant this recall. Right, Honorable Speaker, the urgent matter facing the people of Ghana today, particularly business and households, is the free fall of the Ghana cedi. Mr. Speaker, this is a matter that concerns everyone. The depreciation of the cedi should be an urgent issue for all of us, Mr. Speaker. Today, $1 is 15 cedis, 30 pesos. Mr. Speaker, that is an urgent matter that we should be called upon to discuss. Mr. Speaker, the steep depreciation of the Ghana cedi has resulted in an escalating prices of goods and services. This development is worsening the plight of the ordinary Ghanaian. Mr. Speaker, the ordinary Ghanaian is suffering and action must be taken now. Mr. Speaker, businesses and traders, particularly at Abosokai, Kesi, Makola, Malamata, Keta, and Kejetia, Mr. Speaker, and many other places, are wailing about the free fall of the cedi. Mr. Speaker, this is eroding their capital and impacting their ability to restock, Mr. Speaker, and service their loans. Right, Honorable Speaker? This is an urgent matter that we should all be concerned about, and a quick action must be taken to resolve the rapid depreciation of our local currency. So, Speaker, let me say that our hearts go out to those servicing their mortgage in Ghana, obviously, whilst they earn the Ghana cedi. Our heart also goes out to traders who are unable to restock and have lost their capital as a result of the free fall of the Ghana cedis. The Speaker, again, our heart goes out to the people of Ghana who are going through excruciating hardships as a result of the free fall of the Ghana cedis. So, Speaker, the NDC minority feels your pain. We feel your pain. We feel your pain. Your pain, the anguish and the sleepless nights as a result of the rapid depreciation of the Ghana cedis. So, Speaker, again, under the watch of His Excellency, the President and the Vice President. Yes, Mr. Speaker, these issues, these major issues, are not slated as an item for us to discuss. So, Speaker, clearly, government has lost its way. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, let me say, today, food prices have gone through the roof. Many of our compatriots are unable to put food on the table for their families. Over 1 million Ghanaians, Mr. Speaker, according to the Ghana Statistics Service, are likely to face food insecurity between June and August of this year because of the rising food prices. Mr. Speaker, food inflation is about 48% in Ghana today, ranked as the 5th in the world with the highest food inflation. Yet, this is not slated as an urgent matter. Mr. Speaker, today, many people have parked their cars because they are unable to afford the astronomical prices of fuel. Mr. Speaker, there was a quote that I read from one Armstrong who said that the transport fares to look for daily bread in Ghana today is even bigger than the bread that they are looking for. Mr. Speaker, the situation is worse. Doomsday has become the order of the day. With no end in sight, yet, Mr. Speaker, this government has not slated this as part of the item to be discussed. Mr. Speaker, this government has its priorities misaligned. There are more pressing and urgent issues that requires the government's immediate attention than what has been slated on the other paper. Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
For a to Forson, I just yatina no asama or change mu how I see depreciate masisi crampono a year $1 is to 15 cities 30 pesos. I just watch you musa a year Oshe education bibian ye Oshe we are seeing na the whole world a year pan ye toss of fire dian a boy din into Oshe a country states as you speak na a deben pan a urgent sa question a out of force a bisa kofado say dem pan urgent emergency a change this current a enema air cosono a out of force and yabi pan after this no a majority leader Afenyo Markins also better and no asem so ne ho na ye Zanetor is sorry I just almost Sweden it me kasa e wo ne kasa ma just anya segeto enko head to aso
majority leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity to address my colleagues. Mr. Speaker, the issues matter of this recall have been well, and I shall rely on same without more. Suffice to reiterate, Mr. Speaker, that the matters that are of national importance and of public interest. The business of this House is not the bona fide of only the majority. It is the bona fide of the House. It comes therefore as a surprise with the Speaker that the minority leader sees certain matters as urgent to the national economy, yet he and his colleagues sleeping on the job have not found it necessary to raise these matters for us to consider. This is not about political rhetoric, but Mr. Speaker, taking serious steps to address national issues. Perhaps, Mr. Speaker, on this recall, I need to remind the minority that within the last 2 months, government has paid contractors in excess of 6 billion cedis. I repeat, 6 billion cedis. These monies, Mr. Speaker, paid contractors have enabled them to get back to the roads. We know what is happening in our constituencies. We know that contractors are back to site. Roadworks are ongoing. We know that, Mr. Speaker, food inflation is not 48%. As the minority leader wanted to tell us, it is not 48%. Mr. Speaker, there we go. There we go. I listened to him quietly. Mr. Speaker, you know, I've always said that they are not Democrats. They are intolerant. We listen to the minority leader in silence. But when you are punching them, they can't take the punch. We help you. I sat down. I took notes. And that is you. Speaker, food inflation is not 48%. Mr. Speaker, this government acknowledges that we have challenges in the economy. We didn't see COVID coming. Soon after COVID, we were not expecting a geopolitical situation that would disrupt the global economic.
Honorable Majority Leader, just a minute. Just a minute. Honorable Zanetor, I've seen you on your feet for some time now. What is amiss?
Mr. Speaker, I take some offense by the Majority Leader's statement, implying that the NDC caucus is not democratic or tolerant. I do not feel that if we have all become elected members in this House, which represents the entire country as the legislative arm, he should stand there and declare that our side is not democratic nor tolerant. And I think he should actually withdraw that statement.
Well, Majority Leader, your attention is being drawn to the use of some words which your colleague feels are inappropriate, to say the least. What do you say to that?
Mr. Speaker, I was stressing the point that they should tolerate divergent views. Mr. Speaker, the point was that when the Minority Leader was on his feet, we all kept quiet and listened to him. And it was my turn to also have my bite. But Mr. Speaker, Honorable Zanetor rawlings, if how I put it is a problem, Mr. Speaker, it's only appropriate that same is withdrawn. Except to say that they should tolerate me. Mr. Speaker, by their fruit we are knowing. Mr. Speaker, must protect the Majority Leader when it's at the dispatch box.
Honorable members will specifically be calling names so that we don't use general words. When we hear a member that is intolerant, mention the name of the member. Then I can apply the necessary sanctions. Please. Then
okay, Mr. Speaker, thank you. Mr. Speaker, but before I proceed, let me make this application to the Minority Leader and his wits. That I have spoken to my colleagues that anytime you're on your feet, they should listen to you. And they did just that. It's becoming one too many, the way we get disruptions and all. So, Leader, I am the leader of the House. No matter how you disagree, you listen to me first. Mr. Speaker, it is within my right to get it wrong, for them to entertain and tolerate. So they should be quiet and listen. So, Mr. Speaker, the point is that this recall is based on good faith. On the 20th of March, Mr. Speaker, you did say that we should reflect on the matters that occurred. In your conclusion, you called on us that it is time to reflect. And time to reflect, we've reflected, we've engaged, and today we are here. The government of this country will live up to expectations. We know that in spite of all the difficulties, our children are in school. In spite of all the challenges, free SHS is being sustained. In spite of all the challenges, we are seeing massive infrastructure. Massive infrastructure in our schools. We know, Mr. Speaker, in all our schools, we know what is happening there, Mr. Speaker. In the area of agriculture, we know that food inflation is around 26%. It is not 48%. So, Mr. Speaker, this government is not sleeping on the job. In the area of digitalization, this government has embraced it as a way to go to alleviate the suffering of our people. So, Mr. Speaker, let me assure my colleagues that we've come here to do public business. We've come here to deal with matters of national importance, that we need our ministers. We know that the economy that we all complain about, we need the private sector to be proactive in doing business, and the only way is to give certain assurances. And that is why the government introduced the 1D1F. The 1D1F is aimed at giving some tax incentives, giving space for production, and that is what the government is doing. All of us know that we need our ministers in office so that they can report to Parliament, so that we can ensure accountability in government. And that is why we are here. Mr. Speaker, if Parliament is not functioning, how do we hold government to account? Mr. Speaker, when it comes to the IDA, Mr. Speaker, we dealt with the first part of it.
Television for a canning in our bomber, a parliament of one just a heated pan, a de Farco Fado, a Lumbio Pesokwaji, a de Belbois, a my government business and a coso, a Belbois, a man, a DOBC, a boo, a minor, a self, I am Ramano, na yin I am toy. No, not a year, NDC side, a minority leader as well, sorry, out of Forson. HSA. There's no way I'm more interesting woman. There's no way I'm personal approve loan. Am I Yankofad because loans are who door my channel. I be brave for $50 million. We no more approve, no more approve, no more approve. And no more approve, mama. Now some kwajiba. At the corner, almost some of the quayano. Ye any pair at a force and ask more can. The entire almost say, okay, a Kumasi a intouching, so I'm intouching. For example, ya kwaji. Na some kwaji sa alone ba. Omwase ya kwaji aba. Na so no bekono, no omon fan ya de no so I'm intouching no. Na edaho. So omon fa so bia was say. Almost approve new loans to this government. So you approve upon our DBD fine. Now so you approve you own financial and my more yarn eden. See any depreciate and depreciate. The pa for the bony dins on the Boama city no enya holding about me. On so soon ent in office on this also Namian campaign. The quack is the vice president in a demand way to her and way campaign was necessary. On an animal street no was necessary. Or Sheboa or Sanami boy. So no Nejuma different. Because in the bank was this we meet when you drive into the Indian Jama. A co-father also air before no catcher was said. On the eba a city homes and some economy no I am re pa wona bit my buano. I must see the night mania who are damn for every 4 city to $1 to a 4 city. And no emre kebenya 1 city to a sorry $1 to 1 city. And no mom na kebe into war sabre. Você we mate keke. See where say Johnny in our bonus so now that means one that I because or yeah me my party card because now when you're eligible as we say no when your party card am I supposed to be a president in Ghana in this as we speak in a day as an out of rawlings sorry a schoolie a year Afenyo Markins pan in our say you who has and comment section and drop a comment we need near my air course of parliament subscribe national like my news and be who be brave. Yes, I'm a 100% music because I'd be brave. I'm not going to